Up until this point, I had always gone to a private Catholic school. I'd been surrounded by a majority of upper-class, heterosexual white people my whole life. However, I had always kept an open mind, but after taking in a few lessons from this class, I realized that what I once thought was an open mind actually still had a lot of work to do. The first time that I challenged my thinking on an idea was after reading The Manly Art of Pregnancy by Jay Wallace. At the time, I was actually watching a show where a transgendered man was also pregnant. I didn't get how he would deal with it. It got me to think about the construct on which society affects how we think about certain things, such as what makes us a man or a woman. Opening my mind further was Chapter 2 of the My Gender Workbook by Kate Bornstein. This text has affected me the most this semester, specifically on page 56. It asks the questions, what is a man, what is a woman, and why do we have to be one or the other? It has me questioning what we as a society believe is normal and if genders are real or if they were just created to categorize people. The One Is Not Born a Bride by Chris Ingram reading helped me understand a little further at how exactly society's norms affect the way we present ourselves and set goals. For example, when I would think about wanting to get married, I saw it as something that was important to being human. I never really thought that if I would want to get married because if it was something I wanted to do for me or just to seem successful. One text that I remembered the most was an online article titled If Men Could Menstruate by Gloria Steinem. If I didn't read that article, I don't think that I would have ever come to the conclusion that periods being seen as gross or disgusting had less to do with the event of menstruating itself, but more to do with the gender. Again, proving that gender is not something that is black and white. A specific video I remember watching that also opened my mind up a little more was a video explaining how physically disabled people still have normal sex drives. I had always known not to judge anyone or assume stereotypical things about people, but this one helped me out a lot more in understanding just how misleading stereotypes can be. Being able to understand and learn things through explanation have helped me see that by being educated on subjects, it is a lot easier to open your mind up to what's going on around you, as well as accept people for doing whatever makes them feel comfortable, and accepting when it comes to their gender and how they express themselves. Privilege was another topic talked about in this course that I learned from and remember well. I was able to see not only the privileges of others, but the privileges I have too. It allowed me to understand exactly how to use the privileges I have to speak up for others when they need it. The action that this course has led me to take is to call out or call in others when they make assumptions about gender, sexuality, or race. Instead of embarrassing them by screaming or insulting them, I will instead educate them on what they are missing. I've already had a conversation like this with old acquaintances about a few things that they did not completely understand. Throughout the course of this semester, I have found multiple ways to open my mind. Whether it be directly from the readings telling me to do something or from the bigger picture of the message, this women's gender studies course has turned me into a more educated and understanding person that was completely different from the person who walked into this classroom back in August.